WCIU The U presents Monday Football Now, the pregame show.
Come on, y'all.
Folks, the Bears have arrived at Qualcomm Stadium. There's Jeremy Langford getting ready for his very first NFL start. You got to wonder what's going through that young man's mind. Jay Cutler looks focused and ready to go. He has been so far throughout this football season. We'll see if Cutler can get the job done for the Bears this evening. John Fox arriving as well. You know, coming in at 2-5 this evening as they prepare to face the 2-6 Chargers. And with a trip to St. Louis this week, the Broncos at home, and then a trip to Green Bay after that, this appears to be a game the Bears must win to avoid the 2015 campaign going completely into free fall. And arguably the biggest challenge they face will be the absence of Matt Forte. Good evening and welcome to Monday Football Now, the pregame show. I'm Hub Arkush. This is former Bears defensive end Alex Brown. It's the Bears' first primetime game of the season. We got a lot to cover. Alex, let's start right there. A lot of these kids have never played in primetime before. It's their first TV late at night.
Absolutely. Primetime's different. Everybody's watching. There's no other game on. It's time to go and play now. Now everybody's going to be looking at you. There's no other game on. This is what everybody wants to see. Now it's time for you to go out and make a play, make a name for yourself.
All right, now I've already alluded to it. Matt Forte, the Bears' Pro Bowl running back. He accounted for 35% of the Bears' total offense from scrimmage last year. He's accounted for 33% through 7 games this year. He started 52 straight games, missing just 5 total in 7+ seasons. But tonight, it's the rookie 4th-round draft choice Jeremy Langford at running back in his first NFL start. Now, at least Langford won't be starting completely cold, as he's had 27 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's caught 2 passes already for 31 yards over the first 7 weeks. The youngster talked about making the adjustment to starting at Hallis Hall last week.
Really just being able to get the whole offense down pat and be able to contribute running routes, which is a lot more than I did in college. So being a receiver and being able to catch the ball at the backfield and line up a receiver, it's really just, in the whole entire offense.
You know, Alex, I like what I've seen of the young man so far, but it's just been short bursts. He hasn't been asked to be the go-to guy for 60 minutes.
Right, but in college at Michigan State, he was asked to be that go-to guy. And right there, he seemed real calm. He seemed like he's relishing this moment. He's been waiting for this moment. So I actually expect him. I'm looking forward to him having a pretty good game. I mean, going against San Diego. So I think he has a chance, and it's a good matchup for them.
All right, now on defense, the Bears a little bit healthier than they are on offense, but also facing a bigger challenge than the offense. San Diego comes in with the #1 ranked offense and #1 ranked passing game in the entire NFL. On the face of it, one might assume they're more than the 2-5 Bears can handle, but Sam Acho thinks the Bears are really close to being a lot better than that record suggests.
Statistically wise, we're not exactly where we want to be. We're not far off. We're just a couple plays away, a couple drives away from where we want to be. And so what we've done in practice is worked on finishing. Every play we finish, every period we finish, and even in practice, the last couple periods of practice, we're working on finishing.
All right, folks, back in the day, Alex Brown was my go-to guy in the locker room, the best interview on the team. That's kind of become Sam Acho now. He's doing a nice job for him.
I love Sam, man. I love just listening to him talk. But you listen to him there, he say they're right there. They're almost there. And where it looks like a past couple of games, they found ways to lose the game. I mean, that's just the hurdle. They're going to have to get over that hurdle and start finding those ways, those 1 or 2 plays during the game to help them win those games as opposed to losing those games like we saw him against Minnesota.
All right, now we've heard the old expression, statistics can lie, but let's assume that Acho is right. The other thing the Bears have to realize is the Chargers are even more hamstrung by injuries than they are. They just might be a lot better than their 2-6 record suggests. And I asked John Fox about all the Chargers' injuries' impact on his club's preparation for the game.
I think it's mostly scheme. You do try to look at matchups and key ones. I know they took a big blow by, losing Keenan Allen for the season. We dealt with that with Alshon being out for early in the season for our team, so I know what that can do. So you're a little curious on, personnel groups, how they're going to feature them, what's going to be the one they lean on the most. But that's more scheme and game planning more so than personnel.
All right, Alex, you tell me, if you close your eyes, it could be Vito Corleone because he's making you an offer you can't refuse. Yeah. But let's talk about the reality here. You're the pass rushing right end of the Chicago Bears. You know that left tackle is hurt. That's got to matter to you. You're not worried about who they're replacing in the personnel group. I would think the injuries to the key players do count. Absolutely, it counts. I mean, when you come into this game and you know that Keenan Allen's going to be there, then you know they're going to run the offense either through him or Antonio Gates. Now, Keenan Allen not being there, now they have Gates, but you don't know who else they're going to target or they look to go to in this game plan. So it's going to take you some time to figure that out. So that game plan is different. So you have to, once this game gets going, then they'll figure it out, and then they'll try to stop whatever San Diego's trying to do. Well, let me ask you real quickly before we go to break. Antonio Gates, I talked to these kids up at Hallis Hall. They all speak with incredible reverence of the future Hall of Famer. He's unbelievable. I mean, you really don't understand. I don't understand why he's not big. He's not fast. He just gets open. I don't know. He gets open. I want his jersey. Like, I want it signed. Just hopefully he'll have a big game tonight, right? Yeah, we'll see what we can do about that for you. We're just getting started, folks. But when we come back, our very own Andy Mazer and the Chicago Sun-Times' Patrick Finley join us from Qualcomm Stadium. You're watching Monday Football Now, the pregame show on WCIU, the U. Welcome back to Monday Football Now on WCIU, the U. Obviously, both teams hope to be effective on offense, defense, and special teams. But at the end of the day, the matchup between the Chargers' top-ranked offense and the Bears' defense is likely to dictate the outcome of this game, and it will all spin around the performance of Philip Rivers. As we mentioned, our very own Andy Mazer is in San Diego, and Andy now has more on Rivers and other key players as he joins us from Qualcomm Stadium. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Hub, how you doing? We want to mention a couple of guys that you were talking about here with the players to watch. I'm going to go with Jeremy Langford for the Bears, making, as you pointed out, his first NFL start. He looked very calm, cool, and collected as he was walking into the tunnel after getting off the bus today. Also looking pretty good in the warm-ups. First NFL start, you wonder how he's going to react to that. Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator, Jay Cutler, the quarterback, have both praised him for the work ethic that he's had, and they don't see any problem with this. He hits the hole hard. He opened some eyes there in training camp when he's wearing the number 36, of course, now number 33 on the active roster. But again, as you guys pointed out, you never know how a kid's going to react as a starter as opposed to a guy coming in off the bench and maybe getting a few carries here and there. Let's bring back in Patrick Finley, who is working for the Chicago Sun-Times. He covers the Chicago Bears for that newspaper, and you talk about Philip Rivers.
Yeah, Philip Rivers is the guy to watch with the Chargers. It's amazing. He's been here since 2004. He's as good as he's ever been. He throws the ball more than anybody in the NFL right now. They have the most passing yards in the NFL, and they're doing it for a couple of reasons. One of them is they can't run the ball very well. The second is they're behind a lot. And even though Philip and the Chargers and the Bears have similar offenses, similar coaching, similar terminology, they're very different. Philip said today, or the other day, Mike McCoy is going to throw and throw and throw and throw and throw. And that's not John Fox. We know that.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that Philip Rivers has been here for 13 years.
It's unbelievable. He is as close to a legend as the modern Chargers have right now.
All right, so those are the two guys we're going to keep an eye on here as both of them go, as their offenses go. So it'll be an interesting little battle there between the offense for the Bears and also the offense for the San Diego Chargers. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. And, folks, I am joined on set again by Alex Brown, Chicago Bears defensive end. And, Alex, one more note to this game that we can't ignore, and that's the play of Jay Cutler for the Bears to date this season and what was once a very contentious relationship between him and Rivers dating back to Cutler's time as a Bronco.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play, in conference games, I mean, there's going to be some stuff there. Over the years, just gained a lot of respect for his game and the way he plays. I mean, he's been a staple in the league for a long time, and it's put up huge numbers year in and year out. So he's always fun to watch, always fun to play against.
The new and improved and mature Jay Cutler, Alex. I mean, I remember when he was back in Denver, especially that last year, that Christmas Eve game, these guys really went at each other. They really didn't like each other. I'm sure time has healed. They haven't played each other much in the last 6 years. But they both got to want this against the other one. Oh, yeah, there's still something there. I mean, you look at that and you look at Jay's face, a little smirk right there. There's a little smirk. He wants to win this game. And the biggest thing is they're both competitors. They want to win. They come into this game. I mean, I think they remember back in the day when they used to go at it with each other.
they want to come out and be victorious in this game. It's a big game, honestly, for both teams. So, and it's going to rely on both quarterbacks. I mean, neither team coming into this game being able to run the football that well, so it's going to be at the quarterback position. That's what it's going to be. That's who's going to win the game.
Well, and Alex, they're both very similar. You've got Rivers a little bit bigger. You got the more athletic Jay Cutler. They're both without key weapons tonight. And so let's say Jeremy Langford isn't all Matt Forte is. We know Alshon Jeffrey is a key, but Marty Bennett's got to show up too. And Marty had some words earlier in the week. He wasn't all that thrilled with the role he's playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, typically when you talk through the week, that's when, I mean, they're gonna turn to you and say, okay, you know what? Here you go. Let's see if you can put up a big day, and that's going to be the thing. He's going to have to come in with a big performance tonight, and that will help the Bears, and it will help Jay be more comfortable in the pocket, being able to get the ball out a little faster.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what they've been doing here is because of Adam Gase's offense. They're trying to run the football more. They want to make absolutely sure that they've got Marty inline blocking. That's why he's not catching as many passes. That puts that much more focus on Alshon Jeffrey. Has Alshon Jeffrey shown you that he is a #1 receiver in the NFL? Is he entitled to the big money he's going to get after the season, and should the Bears pay it?
He's going to get big money. He has talent-wise, but he's going to have to be out there. You got to be available, and that's the thing for me. He needs to be available and show that he can do it week in and week out. All
right, so we've talked about the players on both sides, but how will our guys be affected by tonight's weather? ABC7's meteorologist Cheryl Scott has the weather report.
And we're forecasting for the Bears Chargers game tonight in San Diego. Here we go. Look at Futurecast. This is showing the threat for spotty showers during this football game. Any rain that does fall will be on the light side. But yes, some rain in California. So for kickoff 7:30, temperatures will be comfortable, pleasant. We'll start off at 65 degrees for the fourth quarter, only dropping to the low 60s. So comfortable temperatures here for the players. And again, just the threat of a few spotty showers. Enjoy the game.
Cheryl, thank you very much. You can tune in tomorrow to watch Jose Sanders, Linda Yu, Cheryl Scott, and Jim Rose at their regular time for ABC7 Eyewitness News 7 on WCIU The U. Coming up next, our Kerry Sayers sits down with my partners at 670 The Score, Big Cat Williams and Olin Cruz, to sound off on the state of the Bears as we head into the second half of the season. You're watching Monday Football Now, the pregame show on WCIU The U. Welcome back to Monday Football Now on WCIU The U. We know with John Fox at the helm, we're now in a rebuilding year with the Bears. Let's bring in Kerry Sayers along with Big Cat Williams and Olin Kreutz, who are my broadcast partners at 670 The Score and always have an opinion on their beloved Chicago Bears. Kerry?
Thanks. You guys sure do. Good to see both of you. And now that you have made the transition to the other side of the microphone, it makes you guys perfect candidates to sound off on a few pertinent Bears topics. And let's start with the head coach. John Fox clearly came here with a proven track record, but with a lot of work to do. 7 games, not a lot to judge from, but Big Cat, do you feel like he's the right coach to bring this team back to prominence?
Well, like you said, if you look at his track record, he is the right guy. He went through Denver, he went through Carolina, and, you know, now he's in Chicago. They don't have nearly the talent that those two teams had when he got there, but I think, you know, with a little bit of help, they'll be able to get them exactly where they need to be.
Yeah, he has a proven track record of fixing defenses especially, and that's what the Bears need to fix. They need a quick fix on defense, and in Carolina and Denver, he's taken both defenses from worst to about second. So he is the guy, but more than that, it's him and Ryan Pace together. And Ryan Pace is going to need to provide John Fox with the talent he needs to fix the defense, and they need to work together to bring the Bears back to where they want them to be.
Yeah, speaking of talent, from what you've seen, who've been your biggest surprises and your biggest disappointments thus far?
My biggest surprise is probably Kyle Long, and I know that's going to shock some people, but by that I mean he was a Pro Bowl right guard and on his way to being the best right guard in the NFL, and they moved him out to right tackle, and I doubted the move, and he has seamlessly moved out there and become a Pro Bowl right tackle, and that's not easy to do, like you know, Kat. And my biggest disappointment is probably collectively their red zone offense, because they have a lot of talent on that side of the ball to create matchup problems in, you know, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett, Matt Forte, Jay Cutler, Kyle Long, Matt Slauson. So you would think they could score points with Adam Gase running the show, and they just haven't. And they're in the bottom of the league in scoring points, and that's something they have to get fixed.
Yeah, needs improvement.
Yeah, and I think for my surprise, it's Amos, the 5th-round draft pick, playing safety. just being able to start from the beginning of the season and get better as time has gone on. You know, that's what you want to see out of your young players. Then my disappointment would be White, you know, your first-round draft pick. Hasn't had the chance to step onto the field because of injury, which is not his fault. But you know, you want to see your first-round draft pick out there. So next year they're going to have 2 first-round draft picks that they're going to have to work with.
Yeah, on the bright side there. All right, since tonight's game officially marks the midway point of this season, record aside, Big Cat, what do you need to see here in the second half of the season to feel good about this team's direction?
I need to see the defense get better. I need to see the team get better. I need to see young players advance. I need to see young players step up and handle their roles. You need to see the older players that are going to step out and be the leaders of the team. You know, that's what you have to see before the season's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, improving on defense, that they're catching on a Fangio scheme, that they're learning what John Fox wants them to do. And on offense, to score points, we just talked about that. But special teams also needs to show a pulse, besides Robbie Gould. I mean, just do something. But all that being said, guys, I mean, how much better do you want them to get? Because what they need is really good young players, and if they get good and get to 7, 9, 8, and 8, now they drop in the draft.
Yeah.
And now we don't get a difference maker that we need.
Yeah,
so
there
it's
is
kind of a
that dilemma.
catch-22. Yeah, I mean, what do we really want?
Yeah, you're right. All right, guys, thanks as always for your insight. You can catch both of them after every Bears game on 670 The Score. Hub?
Gary, thank you very much. Coming up next, we're heading back to Qualcomm Stadium with WCIU's Andy Mazer as we discuss the Chargers' future in San Diego. Welcome back to Monday Football Now on WCIU, the U. There's a lot of talk going around. This could be the last year the Chargers play in San Diego. Let's head back out there where Andy Mazer is waiting at Qualcomm Stadium with the details. Andy, what do you think? Do the Chargers stay or go?
It's a very contentious thing here in San Diego right now, and it is hard to believe, as you point out, this could be the last time the Bears and Chargers ever meet here in San Diego, with the Chargers looking to move into the Los Angeles market, perhaps to Carson, California. The Spanos family, which owns the team, has made no secret of its displeasure with Qualcomm Stadium and have gotten nowhere in their dealings with the city to keep the team here. So the possibility of a move is very real.
Their first priority right now is moving to Carson. They do not believe the city of San Diego can get a new stadium deal done.
Now, where that new stadium could be built is a point of contention. The city is pitching a location next to the current stadium. The Chargers want a downtown facility near Petco Park where the Padres play. Several sites have been surveyed, but nothing has been approved. Marty Caswell is a born and raised San Diegan and covers the Chargers for the Mighty 1090 Sports radio station. She knows that the impact of the Chargers leaving town will be catastrophic.
Well, if you're a Bears fan, think about how much your team means to you. Think how much you live and die with the Chicago Bears. And imagine having that ripped away from you when you have no say.
Luckily, that didn't happen to the Bears when renovations were made to Soldier Field in the early 2000s. And Bears fans, this takes away a great getaway spot during the football season.
San Diego is a great place to visit. It's not just for the football game, it's a destination. When the schedule comes out, Bears fans, and you see you're playing the San Diego Chargers, you circle that on your calendar. You make it a trip. You make it a vacation. It's a great time. You won't want to go to Carson. LA is a disaster. Trust me on this. Trust me on this.
Okay, Marty, we do trust you on that. Perhaps we can be finding out more about what's going on with the Chargers on Wednesday. That's when the city of San Diego is again going to make a presentation to the National Football League on their stadium plan. So, guys, even at 2-5, it makes you kind of happy to be a Bears fan. We don't have these kind of turmoil situations here. No ownership threatened to move. There's always going to be NFL football in Chicago. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. Alex, it's impossible to imagine Chicago without the Bears. What do you think the Chargers players, the same thing's going on with the Raiders in Oakland, the same thing with the Rams in St. Louis, what's going through their minds right now?
Well, I think they're trying to handle business on the field. That's what I think they're trying to do. The players tend to be like, well, if I can't control it, then why am I worried about it? The things I can't control is on the football field, so that's what I'll focus on. That's what I'll make sure I have all my attention geared towards. So I don't think the players are actually thinking about it. Maybe their families and where they're going to put their kids in school and all that stuff, because maybe their families, maybe they like being there. Maybe the kids like to be in that school. So it's going to be a bad deal, I think, if they move.
All right, buddy, it's getting closer to kickoff. When we come back, Kerry Sayers joins us again to talk about who will play and who won't. But first, as we go into break, let's get some predictions for the game from WCIU's morning show. You and me hosts Gene Sparrow and Melissa Foreman.
All right, thanks, Hub. So, Gene, listen, it's a big night of football here on the U. Are the Bears going to win?
Well, I could quote a whole lot of statistics about how the Bears do on Monday Night Football, but I know one surefire way to predict if they're going to win.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yes.
All right, you ready? Call it in
Heads,
the air.
Bears win.
I'm going with that, too.
Yes! Bears! Woo! All right, for a full wrap-up on tonight's game, leave that channel right there and start your day with us.
It's you and me tomorrow morning from 6 to 9, right here on WCIU, The U.
Woohoo!
WCIU The U presents Monday Football Now, the pregame show.
Come on, y'all.
Kickoff just around the corner. The Bears out warming up. Jay Cutler getting ready. This could be a busy night for Jay Cutler. Missing a couple weapons. Backup running back. Is this the night he airs out the football? He's warming up like he is ready too. Good evening and welcome to Monday Football Now, the pregame show. I'm Hub Arkus. Joining me are Kerry Sayers and former Chicago Bears defensive end Alex Brown. We're under half an hour from kickoff, and the story of the night for the moment continues to be which wounded Bears and Chargers are able to go. Well, we want to find out all about it, so for more on just who will be available for the Bears tonight, let's bring in Andy Mazer live from Qualcomm Stadium. Andy, who's out tonight for the Chargers? Let's start there.
All right, let's talk about the Chargers hub, and again, it's some devastation to their offensive line. You've got King Dunlap, their big their big left tackle that is going to miss the game tonight. Orlando Franklin, their left guard, is also out, and Ladarius Green, who is the second tight end in the offense to Antonio Gates, will also miss this game. So again, Phillip Rivers is going to be in a little difficulty there on that blind side, relying on a couple of new guys to come in and plug those holes from the injured guys on the offensive line. As far as the defense is concerned, Manti Te'o will sit this one out. Corey Liuget will sit this game out as well. But good news as far as the Chargers is concerned on their defense, it'll be Eric Weddle making a start tonight, the free safety, kind of the heart and soul of the Chargers defense, guys. So that's good news for the Chargers and kind of bad news for the Bears as far as the passing game is concerned.
You know, Andy, the Bears injury list, or inactives, I guess I should say, we knew all along. No Matt Forte, no Eddie Royal. Didn't know about Shea McClellan. He's somebody that they had hoped to have tonight. And also, if you will, you know, you get rid of Jeremiah Ratliff, you bring in Ziggy Hood. I understand him not going last week, but kind of thought that he might be out there tonight.
Yeah, let's start with McClellan first, because I watched him on the field. He has that big knee brace still on, and he was kind of going through the warm-ups. So they were kind of hoping that maybe he'd be able to turn the corner and get in there tonight. But kind of the hint is when you see them not dressed up in the traditional uniform pants going out there during the warm-ups. So he's not in there, and we'll miss another game. And yet Ziggy Hood, it's kind of surprising. You know, you maybe give him 1 week to adapt to the defense and to the scheme, but apparently not picking it up or something to that effect, because, again, he is not playing here tonight for the Chicago Bears.
All right, Andy, one more question before we let you go. Not about the injured players so much. I assume you're watching as closely as you can. Jeremy Langford, does he look like he's ready for this, or maybe are the nerves working on that stomach a little bit?
If he has nerves, he's hiding them very, very well. He looked very calm, cool, and collected getting off the bus and entering the stadium. Looked good during the warm-ups as well. So who knows here, making his first NFL start, it could change at game time.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. I want to bring it back here on set now. Kerry Sayers with us, Alex. And Kerry, Eric Weddle, getting him back. Yeah, the Chargers are banged up. That's a big deal.
Yeah, look at all the inactives, but having Eric Weddle out there, you heard Andy say it, he's the heart and soul of this team. He leads the team in tackles. He's been giving opposing offenses fits. He's a guy that Jay Cutler even singled out earlier in the week, saying that he could make their life a lot more difficult if he was out there. So, unfortunately, the Bears aren't going to, be lucky enough to miss him tonight.
Yeah, you never want to see anybody banged up. But, Alex, let's be honest. No King Dunlap, no Orlando Franklin. They're two best offensive linemen. Bears defensive line kind of frothing at the mouth right now. He's got to get ready to go, yeah.
You better believe it. You got two starters out. Oh, whoever's playing over the left tackle and that guard, they better be ready to go, because there's no excuse for you not being in the backfield all night. They're going to throw the ball 40 times. So you need to get pressure on the quarterback. And honestly, they're going to need it, because if Rivers sits back there and he's able to pick apart that secondary, they're going to be in trouble. So we need to have pressure. There are there will be opportunities along the offensive line for our defensive line to get pressure.
All right, one story we haven't gotten to yet tonight, the coaches. These guys know each other pretty well. You know, you've got John Fox brought Mike McCoy from Carolina to Denver. He's the offensive coordinator. They hire Adam Gase. Mike McCoy goes to San Diego. Adam Gase becomes the offensive coordinator. And now you got a situation where Gase and Fox have coached against the Chargers 9 times in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly familiarity, but that can go both ways. However, John Fox has really done well against his former assistants thus far. 4-1 against Mike McCoy, 6-1 against 2 other former coordinators in Dennis Allen and Jack Del Rio. Not sure that trend is going to continue tonight, though.
All right, Alex, I'm going to bring it full circle. We're almost out of time here, but it kind of comes back to Philip Rivers.
Yes.
He's the guy on the field who has proven he can go out and win a game, not by himself, but he can be the linchpin.
Absolutely. I mean, as long as he has guys in the right place where he thinks they're going to be, then he can absolutely keep you in that ball game, regardless if his defense is playing well, because they hadn't played well all year. So the Bears, what they're going to have to do is get pressure on him. You got to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. If they're able to do that, it gives them a better chance to win the football game.
All right, guys, and I'm going to take Jay at his word. You know, him and Philip aren't going at each other, any of that. But this may be the night that Jay has to unleash it. We haven't seen it through the first 7 games. If he has to, this one's going to be a ton of fun. And I understand you guys going to be tweeting a little bit during the ball game, huh?
We absolutely are. We're going to be monitoring our Twitter accounts as well. So make sure you send your tweets to @AlexBrown96 and @Carrie Sayers, and we'll be posting some of your comments. Keep it clean after the show, after the game on the post-game show.
All right, guys, we've got one final segment ahead. Predictions are next. You're watching Monday Football Now, the pregame show on WCIU, the U.
Come on, y'all.
The stage is set. We're just minutes away from the Bears and Chargers at Qualcomm Stadium. Alex, Carrie, the moment of truth. What are your predictions for tonight? Alex, we'll have you go first.
I got a shootout going on. I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do believe we fall short, though, 30-27. I think the Bears fall short, though.
You know, I wanted to bring the bright and sunny disposition to this. They're going to win. But I keep going back to this. If all things being equal, and they both have tons of injuries, that the defense still has to be able to make plays. They've struggled amount of pass rush. They've struggled in the secondary to make big plays when it counts. I just see Philip Rivers continuing to have his way, 27-20.
Bears fans are going to hate us, guys. We are unanimous. They threw me for a loop. I expected a few more Chargers to be ready. Not to be ready, but still, Philip Rivers is what I keep coming back to. I've got it 27-23 Chargers, unfortunately, so we all agree. We do have time for one more prediction, if you will. Do you have a player of the game? Alex, doesn't matter which team.
Oh, man. I actually think Pernell McPhee will have a big night. I think he goes off 2.5 sacks, but I just don't think it'll be enough.
All right, Carrie, real quick, how about you?
How about Jeremy Langford? I mean, show us that you can be the Bears back of the future. Show us that you can handle the big stage. Show us that you can catch passes out of the backfield, not just run the ball.
Okay, it would be great if it was Langford. I'm going with Marty Bennett. I think Marty Bennett needs some love here. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching Monday Football Now, the pregame show. I'm Hub Arkush, along with Alex Brown and Carrie Sayers. Be sure to join us immediately after the game for Monday Football Now, the postgame show. The Bears and Chargers game starts right now.